What is up, everybody? So Kathleen Zellner wants to take on Bobby Dassey in a court of law. This is from Patch.com and by John Farrick. John Farrick, who also wrote the book Wrecking Crew on the Making a Murderer case. If you haven't read that book, definitely check it out. It is tremendous. But this is on Patch.com and is linked in the description below. Kathleen Zellner wants to face Teresa Halbach's killer in court. Zellner, in her most recent filing, says it's time for a showdown with Teresa Halbach's killer. Bobby Dassey had motive, Kathleen Zellner noted. Thursday marked another major movement in the case of Steven Avery, as world-famous wrongful conviction lawyer Kathleen Zellner filed her 46-page response to Wisconsin's efforts to keep Avery locked away in prison for the rest of his life. Zellner is on a quest to win Steven Avery an evidentiary hearing before a local judge. An evidentiary hearing will give her a chance to convince the judge that Avery's first-degree murder conviction in the October 31st, 2005 death of Teresa Halbach warrants a new trial for her client. Avery, along with his nephew Brendan Dassey, were convicted of her murder. Not only were they convicted of her murder, they were convicted of her murder under two different circumstances. It's absolutely crazy. If you're not familiar with the case, go check it out. It is bonkers. There's a tremendous documentary on Netflix called Making a Murderer. If you're new to the case, there's a couple books out there. One by Jerome Buting, who was Steven Avery's original trial attorney, called Illusion of Justice. There's a book by this author, like I said at the beginning, John Farrick, called Wrecking Crew. Both amazing books. Definitely pick them up. Those are the two I've read. I've also read Ken Kratz's book. You can pick that up too if you want. Zellner insists in her latest filing that Brendan Dassey's older brother, Bobby Dassey, is the real killer of Teresa Halbach. Steven Avery respectfully requests that this court grant him one of the following alternate remedies: grant an evidentiary hearing, grant his amended motion for post-conviction relief by ordering a new trial, and grant the requested relief and grant any and all relief this court deems appropriate. Patch has reviewed Kathleen Zellner's post-conviction filing and highlighted the following arguments put forth by Kathleen Zellner as she tries to destroy, and boy did she ever. I just did a 6-video part series on this. If you're interested, I'll link them all in the description. As with this article, I go over the entire 46-page filing. She tries to destroy the points previously raised by the Wisconsin Attorney General's office, lawyers, and politicians for the state of Wisconsin, including recently re-elected Governor Tony Evers, a Democrat, remain committed to keeping Avery and Brendan Dassey locked away from society without a chance for an evidentiary hearing or a new murder trial. Things they highlight in this article from the post-conviction filing is: what was Bobby Dassey deleting from his computer? What about the fact there was no fingerprints from Steven Avery on the RAV4 anywhere? Sexual assault was Bobby Dassey's motive, according to Kathleen Zellner. Without question, Steven Avery never used Bobby Dassey's computer. They're talking about that because of all the computer searches and things that were found on the computer. Kathleen Zellner reveals why Bobby wanted to frame his uncle Steven Avery. That's an easy answer, so he didn't go to prison himself. And it goes into quite a bit of detail in this article about all of those things I just listed there. So go give it a click, give it a read, and let me know what you think. What do you think of the latest filing? What do you think of this article? What do you think the chances are that Steven Avery will get an evidentiary hearing? And hopefully, if he does, this also leads to the release of Brendan Dassey. I know they were two totally different things. Brendan was convicted on his words and his false confession, but you would think if Steven Avery is found not guilty of this crime at some point in time, that Brendan Dassey would have to be released. It would have to happen. Can't imagine living in a world where one of those two gets released and the other one doesn't. Absolutely insane. Well, let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you again soon.